What's good, everybody? It's the Cloud with Cap Show, UFC 287. We are 1 day away. I cannot wait. Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya, one of the biggest superstars in the UFC. We saw recently he lost to Alex Pereira by knockout in the 5th round. Look, Izzy, he's 0-3 against this guy. I just think certain styles, certain matchups, it just doesn't favor some type of people. Even Israel Adesanya, I love Izzy. I think he's great for the sport, great for the UFC. He's definitely a top 5 fighter, in my opinion, talking pay-per-views, business-wise for the UFC. But I just think Alex Pereira, man, he's 7-1. He's a different breed. He is different, man. Like, this guy is straight from the Amazon. Like, he's a killer. Same thing as Izzy, he's a killer, but I just think Alex Pereira, he's a different breed, dude. Just a cut from a different cloth. He's 7-1 in the UFC. He's 3-0 against Izzy. This is his 4th fight against Israel Adesanya. Obviously, they know each other. They know each other's weaknesses, their tendencies, everything about it. I just think Alex Pereira right now, he's plus 115 according to DraftKings, which I kind of think is kind of crazy, right? He's 3-0 against Izzy, and he's still an underdog. Just a slight underdog. Izzy's minus 135 going into this fight. I think it's going to be great. I think Israel Adesanya, if he wins this fight, it's going to be differently than just standing up and throwing leg kicks. I think Israel Adesanya, and we saw in the trilogy fight that Izzy took him down in round 3, utilized his ground and pound, but Israel Adesanya is not a wrestler, though. And I think, fighters who aren't bread and butter wrestlers, their gas tank gets empty. And I think Izzy, that really affected him in the 4th and 5th round, especially in the 5th round, throwing leg kicks and really messed up his leg. I just think Israel Adesanya has got to stick and move a little bit more. And I saw in the trilogy fight where Izzy kind of got in bad situations up against the cage. And Alex Pereira, I mean, he walks around. He looks like he's 205 plus. I mean, these guys coming in at 185, it's just like, come fight night. I feel like, dude, he gains at least 10 pounds. Adds food, like everything, dude. Like, this guy could be a light heavyweight. Alex Pereira could be a light heavyweight, even a heavyweight. He'd be a, lighter heavyweight, but still, like, Alex Pereira could move up. He could do so many options here. Win or lose for Alex Pereira. Obviously, I don't see him fighting again for, the 5th straight fight. I just don't see that. Even if Israel Adesanya wins, I think they're going to go there both ways. And I could see Alex Pereira going up to light heavyweight and going into that division. I would love to see that. I just think Alex Pereira, obviously, he's not a wrestler. That's his weakness. And when you fight a wrestler in the UFC, you have to have good takedown defense, or else it's going to be a long night for you. They're just going to ground and pound you. And I think for, Alex Pereira, obviously, this is a style matchup. They know each other back in kickboxing realm. They know everything about each other. So there's no more excuses for Izzy. And I want to see Israel Adesanya win. I just think it's still a long shot here. We're talking about Alex Pereira, dude. His hands are bigger. He's just a bigger, taller guy. And really, Israel Adesanya is used to fighting shorter guys. Not guys who are as explosive as him, as quick as him, that can recover quicker than Israel Adesanya, dude. Like, Alex Pereira, he can recover super fast, which I was kind of shocked, right? And we go back to the trilogy fight, round 1 at the end, he gets rocked, gonna get knocked out, really, if the bell didn't save him. Then round 2, he's composed. And I look at that trilogy fight and I think, well, Israel Adesanya probably run round 3 and 4 for sure, even probably round 2. Even though Israel Adesanya did get taken down, I'd give Israel Adesanya rounds 1, 3, and 4. And then obviously, round 5, we remember what happened. I just think, for Alex Pereira, dude, like this guy, dude, he's a different breed. He's a different breed, and I think, whatever's next for Alex Pereira is going to be amazing for the business of UFC, for Dana White, and all the fight fans around the world. Alex Pereira, he's a superstar, no doubt about it. I want to say Israel Adesanya is going to win this fight, but I still think it's a long shot. Even if Izzy tries to wrestle with this guy, I think that's going to empty out the cardio gas tank for Israel Adesanya. You're fighting a 5-round fight here for the belt that you lost to Alex Pereira. Like, this is no joke here, dude. This is going to be a war. And I think, for Alex Pereira to win here, obviously, he's going to want this fight to stand. He's a kickboxer. And I think, the edge is to Alex Pereira, even though Israel Adesanya had some great shots in that trilogy fight where it's just like, dude, if he had a couple extra seconds, he would have finished Alex Pereira. So, the fights are so close between these guys. It could go either way. I just think, looking at Alex Pereira, I'm going to lean more towards Alex Pereira, but I do want Israel Adesanya to win. I'm rooting for Israel Adesanya. Obviously, 0-3 against this guy. Took the UFC by storm. You know, he's one of the biggest superstars in my opinion, but obviously I'm going to roll with Alex Pereira yet again by TKO. It's not going to be a good night for Israel Adesanya. I want Izzy to knock him out. I really do. I'm hoping for that. I just don't see it. And then we got Game Bred, Jorge Masvidal versus Gilbert Burns. Jorge Masvidal started where did he start? In Miami, and this event is in Miami. I love it. You know, obviously Jorge Masvidal on a 3-fight losing streak. There's retirement talk. Look, he fought Usman pound for pound #1 twice. Then he fought Colby Covington, a great fighter, probably going to get a title shot against Leon Edwards. I think, you know, for Game Bred, dude, like, you know, his career in the UFC's been nothing but amazing, dude. When he first came in, really people didn't know about him until he started knocking people out. Just like he's been doing really his whole career. We look at Game Bred and say, wow, dude, you know, where did all this start? Well, it started in the backyards of Miami. That's where it started. You know, I remember Kimbo Slice, the backyard fights. I think this was back in like 06, 07. And then we had Game Bred, Jorge Masvidal fighting. He was like 17 or 18, dude. A kid fighting these grown men in the backyard, throwing punches, throwing haymakers. And I'm looking at Game Bred saying, wow, dude, what a story. You know, it's amazing. From Miami, you're fighting in your hometown. You know, Gilbert Burns even gave him respect and said, you know, Masvidal is a dog. You know, he's going to be hungry. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's ready for war here. And I think for Gilbert Burns, you know, he's a huge favorite right here. Minus 475. Dude, that's crazy. That is crazy. Gilbert Burns is 2-2 in the last 4 fights. You know, and I think for Masvidal, this is definitely a legacy fight. You're fighting in Miami, fighting in your hometown. All eyes are on Game Bred here, and I think he can definitely win this fight. I think if Masvidal win this fight, it's going to be on the feet, you know, and don't let Gilbert Burns take you down. You know, I think Gilbert Burns is definitely going to try to take Masvidal down because I don't think he can stand with Jorge Masvidal. I don't. You know, to say that Gilbert Burns is going to, you know, stand toe-to-toe against him. Yes, Gilbert Burns has a great right hand, overhand right. So do a lot of UFC fighters. You know, they do. They have great right hands that can knock you out at any moment, any time. I just think, you know, for Gilbert Burns, obviously, you know, he's more experienced right now, you know, because we look at Game Bred and say, wow, 3-fight losing streak. He's on the down edge. You know, he's getting older towards the end of his career. I'm still not counting Game Bred out. You know, we saw the Ben Askren fight, Darren Till fight. Dude, there's so many great fights that freaking Game Bred's put on for the UFC. It's been amazing, dude. He's plus 350 right now. So that is a crazy underdog. I think that's a little disrespect to Jorge Masvidal. Plus 350, dude? Like, that is crazy. I thought it would be like plus 200, honestly. I really did. I thought plus 200 made sense for me. You know, minus like 300 for Gilbert Burns. But no, dude, the odds have shifted in Gilbert Burns' way. You know, and it makes sense. You know, right now, you know, coming off the fight, you know, against Chimaev, which was a great fight, which I thought Gilbert Burns won that fight. You know, round 1 was really close. Round 2, definitely Gilbert Burns. And I think Gilbert Burns took round 3 off Chimaev. But, you know, a lot of hype behind that. But I think this is going to be another great fight. You know, and I think for Gilbert Burns, you do not want this fight to stay on the feet the whole time. Because Game Bred is going to come after you. And that's his bread and butter. You know, his hooks, his hand speed, his footwork are super quick. And I think, you know, a lot of people underestimate Jorge Masvidal's takedown defense. Yes, he did fight Colby Covington last year, his buddy that turned enemies, you know, and that was just a big wrestling match. But I think, you know, it's kind of underrated to him. So I think this fight, you know, all the coaches for Game Bred right here are probably game planning, hey, you know, at one moment, you know, they test these guys, you know, and Gilbert Burns, he probably, you know, throws a right, then tries to go for the takedown and throws a leg kick. Something in that nature where it's like, all right, we're game planning for this. This is when he's going to go shoot for the takedown. This is when you got to defend it. And I think for Game Bred, dude, you got to defend these takedowns. You do not want to go on your back ever this fight. You want this fight to stand. And I think if Gilbert Burns does not take Masvidal down, I think Masvidal can win by knockout. I really do. I see it, dude. I really do. I can see this vividly, dude. It just takes a couple punches. It really does. But I think Masvidal needs to go for the body of Gilbert Burns. That's what you got to do. That's the weakness in Gilbert Burns. Go for the body and just, you know, slow him down. And once he slows down in the second round, late in the second round, come third round, you know, he's going to be a little bit gassed here. Whereas Masvidal, you got to come in with the hand speed, come in with the power, and knock him out. But I think, Masvidal, his game plan as well could be, hey, let's go for broke here. I'm fighting in my hometown. This is what raised me. Let me knock him out in the first round. Okay, let me go crazy here. Let me just go all out here. And I believe it's only a 3-round fight. I don't think it's a 5-round fight. But regardless, Masvidal, dude, you got to win this fight, dude. A lot of pressure's on Masvidal right now. And a lot of people, 67% of people in Vegas right now are throwing money on Jorge Masvidal right now. So a lot more people are leaning more towards Masvidal, even though the odds are greatly against Masvidal right now against Gilbert Burns. But obviously, I think the smart money's definitely on Gilbert Burns here. I just think right now he's more active fighter. He's just proven me in the past year and a half, 2 years, where, hey, Gilbert Burns is legit right now. He really is, but I'm rooting for Masvidal, dude. I'm not gonna go against Masvidal, so I'm gonna go Gamebred Masvidal over Gilbert Burns by TKO. He's gonna throw some leg kicks to the body and slow Gilbert Burns down, and that's how you're gonna have to beat Gilbert Burns. But I wouldn't be surprised if Gilbert Burns wins and Masvidal does set off into the sunset and retire, because if Masvidal does lose this fight, is it going to tarnish his legacy? I don't think so. I mean, what he did for the business, for the UFC, he became a superstar. Dude, you can't minimize that. On a video game cover with Izzy, dude, Masvidal, he accomplished it, dude. He beat the odds. He defined the odds, coming from where he come from, working up with his mom all the way, dude. Just grinding, dude. Grinding his whole life to get to this spot, man. Now he's on the main card in his hometown of Miami. I think this is great, dude. Shout out to Jorge Masvidal. I know there's issues on the side with him and his boy Colby, all that legal stuff. I don't know what to think about that, but at the end of the day, Masvidal's got to get the win here. You're in your hometown. I want to see a knockout. I want to see him knock out Gilbert Burns unconscious here on Saturday night. I cannot wait, so I'm going Gamebred. I'll take the plus 350. The plus 350 to me is kind of probably a sucker bet, because a lot of people in Vegas are like, look, dude, these guys are stupid for betting on Gamebred, but, Gamebred, lost to Kobe Covington last year. So this is a redemption fight for him. So come back. I want to see him go and ball out, dude. I really do, dude. So I cannot wait. Then we got Kevin Holland. He's fighting, dude. He's favorite right now, minus 260. We saw the backstage, and Kevin Holland, he's normally always in these backstage scuffles, right? And it was with Masvidal. I don't know what was said. And we saw this, I think this was last year or the year before, where Kevin Holland was in a backstage scuffle with Khamzat Chimaev. So, there's some things here with Kevin Holland where it's like, man, why is he always getting in these altercations backstage? And really, for Kevin Holland, how much to him? He got him a fight against Chimaev. Obviously, he got rad dog in about 2 minutes and choked out unconscious. But, hey, he got a fight against Chimaev, dude, which it was not expected. But was it the cause because of the backstage brawl, or the backstage, talking shit and all that? So I think, him and Gamebred, they had some moments. I'll go Kevin Holland. I'll take the minus 260. He's coming off 2 straight losses, though. And the guy who's fighting is no joke. But, Chimaev and Stephen Thompson. And the Stephen Thompson fight, when Kevin Holland fought him, was a great fight. It was back and forth. It really was. But, that shout out to Kevin Holland, man. He's getting these fights because he's getting in scuffles backstage. I think it's funny. I really do. And then we got the youngest UFC fighter, man, Rosas Jr. He's from Mexico. This kid is only 18 years old, dude. 18. And I remember he's fighting on a card a couple months ago, and I was like, dude, this kid is nice. He's fighting a guy named Christian Rodriguez. He's plus 210, Rodriguez. He's 8-1. But Rosas Jr., he's 7-0. He's minus 260 right now. I'm going him, dude. The 18-year-old kid, dude. I mean, dude, this kid is young, and he even said, told Dana White, F all these guys. I'm ready. I don't care about my age. I know I'm 18. He probably just hit puberty. This is crazy, dude. Now he's in the UFC and competing at the highest level right now. So I think this kid's gonna be UFC champion one day. He's only 18 years old, dude. He has so much ahead of him, dude. He's the youngest UFC fighter active right now on the UFC roster. So shout out to Rosas Jr., man. He's a baller, dude. He's a baller. He's a dog. Only 18, man. He's just a kid, dude. It looks like he's still in high school, dude. He can be in a PE class or something, dude. That's crazy, man. Shout out to him. So I'm going with the 18-year-old. And then we got Rob Font versus Adrian Young. Rob Font coming off a 2-fight losing streak. He's 19-6. He's plus 152 right now, according to DraftKings. I think, obviously he's the underdog for a reason here. Adrian, he's minus 180. I'll probably go Adrian right now just because I think Rob Font is in a funk right now, and just he's not the same right now. I think he's getting towards the end of his career, but I'll go Adrian over Rob Font. And then back to the main fights right here. I think UFC 287 is gonna be iconic. It's in Miami. It's gonna be great. But back to the Masvidal Gilbert Burns. Masvidal fighting in your hometown, man. This is great. This is great. So I'm gonna go with the upset, Jorge Masvidal. Even though if he does lose, I'm gonna be surprised. This is kind of just a loose money gambling bet right here. But I'm definitely going Masvidal plus 350, dude. That is crazy. 100, dude. That is insane, dude. I don't understand it. How's he plus 350 in his hometown, dude? What he's done for the UFC, what Jorge Masvidal done for the sport, and then they're just gonna basically say, dude, you're 350. You're gonna lose this fight against Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is gonna run through you, knock you out. That's crazy to me. That is crazy talk. It really is. But I like Game Bread. And then Alex Pereira, I like him to beat Izzy. I wouldn't be surprised if this fight goes to a draw either. Or decision, maybe a draw. I don't know. I just think Alex Pereira, he's a different breed. He really is. In the UFC, they didn't really expect this from this guy. When I first saw this guy fighting in kickboxing, I was like, this guy is a problem, dude. He just needs to get well-rounded MMA. Because when he fights against a really hardcore wrestler, it's going to be a long night. So I think he definitely has to improve in that department. But I like Alex Pereira over Izzy. I'm rooting for Izzy, man. I want to see him knock out. I just don't see it, man. UFC 287. I cannot wait. It's the Clown with Cab show. Let's go!